Welcome to the College Football Prediction Roundtable, presented here live on the Bleacher Report app, where we're going to give you our predictions of some of the top games this week, as well as do some glazing, as Stephen would say. I am Jay from Unfair Sports. We have Stephen from Fanatic Perspective, Ty from Around the Table Sports, and Nino from Nino's Corner. Oh, gentlemen, I know y'all will enjoy that terrible joke, but we're going to have some fun today. We'll start off with looking at our standings, and then we'll jump right into the games, wrap it up with our mortal locks, and give you the final look. How are we doing on this beautiful Friday?
Good Friday, my brothers. Good Friday.
I'm not there yet. I got to see the standings, then I'll let you know how I'm doing.
Okay, so Ty wants to see the standings. So we'll transition right into that. It wasn't a bad week for overall,
okay,
but Ty somehow has taken a lead. And wow, I have how the mighty has fallen.
Look at you, Jay. Oh yeah.
Gosh, that's awful. Well, we're hoping that this week. God, thanks, Stephen. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate that. I appreciate
low.
That. I know, right? Just right below the belt. We'll go ahead and jump right into some games. So hopefully I can bounce back this week. First item up for bid this week, we're going to dive right into the Utah Utes traveling to Folsom Field out there in Boulder, Colorado to play the Colorado Buffaloes. As of right now, your Buffaloes are a 11-point favorite, and that spread is slowly rising. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just in the anticipation, I'm picking Colorado on this one. This is why. Everything bad that could happen to Utah has happened with a little bit extra. Their third quarterback has gone down for the season. Their starting running back just hit the transfer portal, so that's 830 yards gone. And they're going against a Colorado defense that's gotten better and better as the season progressed. Colorado leads the Big 12 in sacks with 29. And they've got like 8 different dudes with at least 2 sacks. So it's not just one one-man wrecking crew. They're literally doing it by committee. So I think Colorado wins this game. They've got Shedeur Sanders. They got Travis Hunter. They got the best players on the field right now. And I don't see Utah finding a way to not only score points, but stop Colorado from scoring them. Give me the Buffs. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, I know people in the comments, you talk about glazing are going to, say, oh, we're riding Colorado and all this. No, we're telling the truth about Utah. They haven't won a football game since September 21st. Okay, they've lost 5 straight games. It's November 15th, folks. We have to be honest with ourselves and our lives and stop telling lies. Stop lying. Look, Utah, they played multiple quarterbacks. They've just been a mess since the Cam Rising situation. They can't win a game in the Big 12. 5 straight losses. We're talking about Utah, right? This has nothing to do with Colorado. All Colorado has done, they went on the road last week in a very tough Texas Tech environment and played good ball. They actually messed around and made that game a lot closer than it should have been. But they've played really good ball. They've improved so much on the defensive side, but they've improved the physicality and competitiveness within their program, and they've earned my respect. And that's outside of what Shedeur and Travis are doing. Travis, my Heisman candidate. Give me Colorado here in a no-brainer.
Pretty simple. Ty, who you got?
Yeah, give me Colorado. And the reason is very simple. Y'all have highlighted it. The Buffs' second half defense has been really fun to watch all season, right? Any game where the first half they're kind of finding their footing, those halftime adjustments have been really successful. And this is a trend we've seen play out. And the defense, to Jay's credit, has gotten better. To Steve's credit, that was a wild stat that you just pulled out, right? When was the last time you won a football game? That was wild. That hurts because y'all know I'm a big Kyle Whittingham fan. I think he's a hell of a coach, but the fact is that right now they are just not very good. And I'm not saying that's his fault. That's the fact of the matter. To me, the biggest thing in this game, though, even if they were on their second string quarterback, right? Even if the running back hadn't transferred, the way you lost that game to BYU, heartbreaking, took the soul out of you. And now you go to Colorado that has a lot more firepower in their stadium. I just don't like it for Utah, so I think the Buffs do it.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. Come fade us.
Come fade
You know
us.
what it is, man. Come fade us, bro. Look, man, Sanders is the best quarterback in the country right now. It's not even close. Yes, I said it's not close. He's the best quarterback in the country. He will be the first quarterback taken in the draft this year. Travis is the Heisman Trophy front runner, or should be. You know, and folks, if I told everybody on here that the red zone defense for the Buffaloes is top 10 and is better than Penn State, Texas, Alabama, Iowa, and Oklahoma, would you believe me? Most people would say no, but they are a top 10 red zone defense. Utah cannot score. Give me Colorado. They're going to run away with this game.
All right. That was quick and easy. Next game. Texas travels to Vietnam and battles against Arkansas in Fayetteville. Right now, the Longhorns are walking in as a 13-point favorite. This game is interesting. There's not too much to really say. I mean, Arkansas is looking to go get bowl eligible. Texas is looking to try to push for the SEC championship game. Arkansas is walking into this game on a 2-game winning streak. Last time they played in 2021, Arkansas beat number 15 Texas, which is kind of shocking. I'm not going to lie. I don't think Arkansas has a chance in this game. Their offense has been so much of a roller coaster that I have way too many questions and not enough answers. I'm going to go ahead and pick Texas in this game just because I have less questions about them than I do about Arkansas, because Arkansas, they've given us some really good games, and then it all just falls flat at the end, and it's annoying. I think it's a lot closer. I think it is a touchdown game, but I do think Texas pulls this one out. Steven, who you got?
As Tuskegee said here in the comments, this is a rivalry game, so you're half right. But the toss-up aspect,
Fair.
brothers, stop it, okay? This Arkansas team, now I know they've had 2 weeks to prepare. The game's at 11 a.m., so they're not going to have their full Vietnam powers from the moon like they got the last time, where those brothers just got supercharged and started just going belt to ass all over the place. Speaking of belt to ass, they're on the belt to ass list. I told you guys from the beginning of the season, there's 3 teams on that list. It was OU, who received their whoopings. It was Arkansas and Texas A&M. Arkansas, your time is up. This is a landmark moment for Steve Sarkisian, because that was the first time his program, he knew he was not there where he needed to be SEC ready and to really have that physicality. Now, Texas, in my opinion, has gotten SEC ready. Unfortunately, the SEC has not been SEC-like, at least the side that Texas has played. And so now we're getting blamed for not playing anybody when I was told that this conference is supposed to be some sort of gauntlet. Give me Texas on the road, beating the hell out of Arkansas and sending a message, because all we can do is play who we play.
That's a fair point. Ty, who you got?
Yeah, give me Texas, but it's just like a Texas fan to get in their feels and try and not acknowledge that you played an incredibly easy schedule. The SEC is a gauntlet, but all I heard from you and all the rest of them was, oh, well, these teams right here, they're nothing. And I would say, yeah, you're right, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the top half, not 1 or 2. We're talking about the top half. Your best win is Vandy, and that's a good win. I grant you that. But outside of that, you've played Mary Mother and the
Is that an Alabama fan talking about Vandy? Oh, my
That's why I
goodness.
said it's a good win.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a good win.
Lord
It's a
Jesus,
good win. But then you got whooped by Georgia, and I think you get your comeback against Arkansas. But to pretend like Texas hasn't played an incredibly easy schedule is disingenuous and facetious.
Nino, who you got? Record this fight.
Look at Jay over there recording. Look at you trying to be messy. Look at you, man. Hey, give me Texas, man. You see I got on all gas, no brakes, Texas all day long. Come fade us. Man, Arkansas has the 124th ranked passing defense here in the country. Quinn Ewers is going to eat that secondary alive. Texas getting Bond back last year was, not last year. Last game was awesome. Arkansas is really good, very good against the run. Texas is going to put up some 2-back sets, and with those 2-back sets, they're going to have some great passing play snap. They had that same personnel package last week 4 times. 3 of those plays went for plays that were 29 yards or more, 29 yards, 50 yards, and 44 yards, 2 for touchdowns. Texas is going to open this game up. They're going to put a can of you-know-what on Arkansas in Vietnam. Give me Texas big in this game.
Good stuff. All right, let's keep the party going. We're going to fly through this game. We've got Clemson traveling up to play Pitt. in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Right now, Clemson is a 12-point favorite. That Louisville game still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. They did have the bounce back against Virginia Tech, which was a lot closer than I liked, but I still felt like Virginia Tech was a decent team. They came back with so many players. Pittsburgh has lost their last 2 games. They took it to the chin to SMU on the road, and then they let Virginia walk in their house and own them. That kind of surprised me. Give me Clemson. I think Clemson goes through. I think that this is the second bounce-back game they need in preparation for pushes for the ACC championship game against possibly Miami or SMU, because we don't know. SMU out here cooking. So give me Clemson. I think they win this game. And I don't know if they cover the spread, but I do think that they actually win this one. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, I think Pitt can cover this game, but I got Clemson winning. I think this is going to be one of those games where Clemson is just going to have to tough it out. They did so against Virginia Tech last week. It made me feel a little bit better in terms of them handling their business on the road. They know what's at stake at this point. I mean, this is now mid-November. You're trying to get into the ACC. Miami losing helps. You're trying to keep up with SMU. Pitt's been, they've lost now 2 straight games. I like where this Clemson team looks just off of how tough they pulled out that Virginia Tech game. They didn't play well last week, honestly, and they still won that game. So give me Clemson here.
Ty, who you riding with?
I completely agree with Steven. I think Pitt covers, but they lose. And the reason is Pitt's on a little bit of a slide right now. Started off the season incredibly, dropped the game to SMU, dropped the game to UVA. I think they're now playing the team with the best defense they faced all year. And I don't think that's when you want to be in a slide. Now, we know they have capabilities. We know that Pitt has the capabilities. But Clemson, this is a good defense. And I think Clemson, they're going to come out and try and have more of a get-right game after some of the struggles they had last week. So give me Clemson to win. Give me Pitt to cover.
Nino. Clean sweep.
Another come fade us moment, man. Clean sweep. Clemson's going to win this game. A lot like how Texas is going to beat Arkansas. And I'm going to say this. Pitt's pass defense is one of the worst in the nation as well. Clemson's is top 25, man. I like Cade, man. Cade Klubnik can really pass that ball, and he has been playing well here as of late. Like Ty said, I think Pitt kind of peaked a little bit early. They are starting to come down. So give me Clemson in this game. Close game, though.
All right, next game up. This one we're going to talk about. I'm going to leave this open for the panel to really discuss. We're going to talk about Tennessee taking on UGA. Georgia walks into this game as a 9.5-point favorite. There's a lot of questions here. Georgia coming off of a nasty loss at the SIP after some pretty impressive wins down the line. And then, of course, the second loss to Bama. Tennessee's on a 4-game winning streak, especially beating Alabama was probably their biggest win in between there. But Nico Iamaleava could possibly not be playing. Now, granted, he is in concussion protocols, what they're saying. We don't know, but he's listed as questionable. This is going to be one that we're going to have to debate hard on. I'm just going to be simple and say I think Georgia wins this game because I don't know if Nico plays. Georgia's defense knows how to turn it on at the right time. And Tennessee, as good as their run game is, the pass game is still young. Nico can sling it, but he doesn't sling it as much as we think he will. Next year, dude's going to be a force. This season, you can still see him learning it. I think Georgia wins this game in a very close one. I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think they avenge their loss to Ole Miss. Steven, who you got?
So I want to make this clear. If Nico does not play and Gaston Moore is in there, Gaston, he's great. Like this.
I was just thinking it.
And I said it. Yeah, if old boy comes up there with no LeFou, they about to get the brakes beat off of him in between the hedges. If what's his face? Yo, Gaston ain't ish without LeFou. We all knew that. We all know that. However, I'm gonna assume that there's some gamesmanship going on here, and Nico is playing. I still don't think that's enough to overtake Georgia, who is now playing for their season. This is about Georgia. This is more about Georgia than it is about Tennessee to me. That loss last week with Ole Miss, I'm looking back, and I allowed another game in Penn State, Ohio State to influence my thinking too much in Georgia and Ole Miss, and it did not veer me off of the stink of Carson Beck. And that situation there still concerns me because this Tennessee defense is for real. They do have one of the best defenses in the country. and Carson starts messing around at home, this can become a football game. I like Georgia here. I don't see Kirby losing 2 games in a row in the conference. The mighty have fallen, but I don't think they've fallen that far. I think we're now in a situation where you're going to have a bunch of teams with 2 losses in the SEC. But Carson Beck, you are under investigation. You are under surveillance, sir. Give me Georgia, whether it's Gaston or Nico or whoever.
Gaston.
Ty, he's great. Ty, who you got?
First off, the Gaston thing. If it's possible, I'll give you a point. Right, like that S tier right there. That was awesome. I struggled with this one, guys. If I knew Nico was playing and healthy, I'd go Tennessee, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Tennessee's defense is really, really darn good. Right? I mean, that game with Alabama and Tennessee, it's a rivalry game. Their offenses took a lot to get going in that game. And for Tennessee's side, their defense is really, really good. And then they have a running back who quietly is just racking up touchdowns and yards, and Dylan Sampson. Here's my only concern, Tennessee fans, is if Nico's not playing and your passing game is already kind of figuring itself out, which is understandable, young quarterback and a veer and shoot offense, it takes time. And I've said constantly, I think Nico's my favorite quarterback of that class. It's going to be easier for a defense to key in on what's happening if Nico isn't there. And because I don't know if Nico's going to be there, I think I'm going to go Georgia. But, Steven, you started it, I'll finish it. Carson Beck isn't under investigation. Brother, he's locked up, and we threw the key away a long time ago. He should have left for the NFL last year. I take no pride in saying this, but his draft stock has plummeted. If you show him cover 3 before the snap and drop into cover 2, you've just got yourself an interception. Tennessee's going to do that. Tennessee's going to have him in hell. I think someone else for Georgia has to step up. I'm going to take Georgia, but only because I don't know if Nico is playing. If Nico was playing and I knew that, I'd take Tennessee. That's how close I am on this.
Nino. Fadus?
No clean sweep. No faders. Not so fast, my friend. Give me Tennessee in this game because I do think Nico is going to play in this game. And just like Ty said, if he knew that, like he was going to play, he was going to pick Tennessee. I just got a feeling that Nico is going to play in this game. And then All Things Sports said it best in the comments that Carson Beck is the best player on Tennessee's team because he's going to give it up, y'all. He's not wrong. He's going to give it up, man. Tennessee runs the ball extremely well. Tennessee is going to force turnovers. Carson Beck looks like a middle schooler playing out there in college football right now. His draft stocks went from possibly the first pick in the draft to probably a 4th or 5th round pick right now just from this one season. What's he have, like 10 picks in the last 4 games or something like that? He's playing horrible, folks. Nasty. Give me Tennessee because I think their defense is going to confuse Carson Beck, and I think that this defense from Tennessee is going to take advantage of these turnovers more so than other teams have in the past against Georgia. Although it's going to be very hard to see Kirby Smart lose 2 games in a row. I know it's going to be very, very difficult to see that. But hey, man, but all things happen in due time. Kirby's going to lose his 2nd game in a row, man. Tennessee is going to keep rolling, man.
Hey, Jay, I need to add something to the chat here real quick since some dudes in here want to pop off and act like they know ball. Okay, so I want y'all to pull up. Because I got people here going to the extreme saying Tennessee quarterback situation don't matter because of the way they run the rock and the way that their offensive line is playing, if I'm interpreting the chat here correctly. Guys, even in Georgia's losses this year, Jalen Milroe and Jackson Dart played at a certain level, both throwing and running, to win those football games. You are not going to show up to Athens, Georgia with 0 quarterback play and just expect to – and I like Dylan Sampson. He's going to be first team all SEC, no doubt about it. But to sit up here and act like you can just run Sampson and the quarterback is just hands-off game manager and you're going to beat Georgia, good luck with that.
Yeah, I don't understand the unrealistic thought that that's actually what's going to happen here. I mean, Dylan
And
Sampson
if Milrow would have hit a pass against Tennessee, they wouldn't have lost that game.
Right. So there's a lot of factors in that one. To me, you gotta have a pass game in order to.
Because Ryan Williams cooked that dude, and we just couldn't hit him. That all 22 don't lie, and I got it.
Damn, that's that PTSD talking right now. Damn,
yeah, he got that PTSD on that one. So
Nico's legs matter too in this.
Yes, they do.
Legs matter too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because that's what Jackson Dart did. He had 8 carries for 50 yards in that game. He just ran the ball and scrambled properly at the right time. So that's critical in order to win this game. I don't know if Gaston has got that one, even though we feel like he's great. Next game we've got up 4. We got Missouri traveling to play against South Carolina. Right now, the Gamecocks are 13.5-point favorites, and it looks like Brady Cook is not going to play in this game either. I got South Carolina. This is probably going to be a BTA situation. Their defense has their whole front seven has been nasty all season long. Shout out to Shane Beamer. They have balled out. Their offense has always been the question on them. Their defense has not. Their defense has always shown out. And when their offense follows, they're playing good ball. I think that South Carolina goes and they're going to probably destroy Missouri in this game. Stephen, who you got?
Give me South Carolina as well. I am so impressed with their physicality, what they've done at the line of scrimmage. Rocket Sanders getting healthier, what they're doing on both sides of the ball. And the athleticism that they have. They've got an athletic tight end. They've got pass catchers that are doing their thing. When Sellers is being that true dual threat, they are really tough to beat. Look, Mizzou pulled out an absolute miracle last week. Shout out to Drew Pine for showing some cojones down the stretch. But for 3.5 quarters, he was terrible. He was terrible. And it's sad because Theo Weiss and Luther Burden are really, really good if you just give them a chance. And he didn't really give them a chance until the end of the game. They were about to go out without even trying to throw the ball past 10 yards. So I don't think you can get away with that against the South Carolina team with this front defensively and what they will put up on offense.
Ty.
Yeah, even if Cook was healthy to play, he's probably sitting this one out just for his own well-being.
Mental? Yeah.
South Carolina has the best edge rush duo in the nation with Dylan Sampled and Kennard. And these guys are real good. I think everybody needs to be – I said the wrong name for Dylan Stewart, not Dylan Sampson. Yeah, it just came off the Tennessee game.
Talk about Dylan Sampson.
Hey, listen, we're naming all SEC players right now, all right? Cut me some slack, right? They're on the list. Dylan Stewart and Kennard. Everybody in college football needs to be very thankful that Dylan Stewart is a freshman. Now, the problem is if you play him next year or the year after, good luck because he's going to eat. He's incredible. This South Carolina team is better than their record shows. Missouri, I'm not impressed with Missouri, quite frankly. So give me South Carolina.
Nino, come fade us.
This is a clean sweep come fade us moment, folks. Give me South Carolina. Look, anytime a running quarterback plays against Missouri, they eat. Even in the 2 wins that they got against guys like Pavia, which, they got that 3-point win. Even Jackson Arnold ate pretty well against him running the ball. Jalen Milrow really ate really well against him running the ball and also passing the ball as well. Sellers is different, folks. Not only can he run, he's like a linebacker. He can break tackles like crazy. He's different. You couple that with Rocket Sanders, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a long night for Missouri, folks. Give me South Carolina to win this game.
All right, next game. Let's hit our midway point. We've got Boise State traveling to play San Jose State. 8-1 Boise State, 5-0 in conference, and 6-3 San Jose State. Boise State walks in as a 14-point favorite. And Ashton Jeanty, as great as he's been this season, he's slowly falling down the list for the Heisman. Now, this is an opportunity. This is a team with a very good winning record that is bowl bound. If he can go out there and get himself a lot of rushing yards, he may get back at the top of the Heisman Trophy conversation. He's got 23 touchdowns this season. Sheesh. He could finish with over 30. Nasty work. Woo!
Nasty work.
Thank you, Stephen, for putting me on him week 1 of the season, and all he has done but has ascended. So shout out to you for pointing him out. I think Boise State wins this game. I'm riding their coattail. I don't think San Jose State has the weapons to outdo them, and I don't know if anybody's going to stop Genty. So Boise State. Stephen, who you got?
Yeah, actually, Genty, he's been sensational all year long. I know the numbers will show that, but that's a reflection of the preparation and defenses absolutely selling out. When you come into a game and you're the number 1, number 2, and number 3 target on the scouting report, it makes it difficult to continue that type of. And he's still productive. But what has made Boise State successful as a team is what they get from their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, who struggled a little bit last week for the first time, but he's kept them balanced. 18 touchdown passes, only 3 interceptions. He's a young guy, but he uses his legs pretty well as well. He's another guy that also will run in the red zone area and score touchdowns as well and pull. That's a tough situation to stop. If Boise State was having poor quarterback play, it'd be another thing. But because of Maddox Madsen and the balance he's able to maintain, Boise State continues to roll offensively and put points up.
Ty, who you got?
This is why I say I hate going behind Steven. I was just about to talk about Madsen, sophomore quarterback, and has been getting better as the season has gone on. Now, last week, Steven hit the nail on the head. He struggled a little bit. But if you've watched this Boise team, you've seen him grow. I mean, games where Genty's a little bit banged up, all of a sudden he goes out there and steps up his level of play. Boise State, I think, gets this win because I think they realize how big playoffs are for them. And if I may, as a quick aside, the reason why playoffs are so big for a Boise, guys, when we were growing up, the bowl games meant a lot more than they do now. And so we would see Boise, beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, and it did a lot for their brand. With the diminishing effects of the bowl games and the emphasis on college football playoffs, I feel like that's kind of gotten away from Boise. This is an opportunity to get their brand right back front and center for all of these young kids who are deciding on where they're going to play college football.
Great point.
No, I totally agree. Having the Boise State was our favorite team to watch in the bowl games because they would always pull off some mess every time. So
unbelievable.
Something. It was always fun. Nino, who you got? Clean sweep come fade.
Another one, clean sweep come fade. It's Boise State. This is going to be real easy, man. San Jose State allows about 150 yards rushing the game. Genty's going to he going to add something to that. So he going to add some of that. Hey, man, give me Genty for about 195 yards this game and 4 touchdowns, man. Boise State gonna run these boys out the stadium, dog. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. All right, big game. Our next big game. We got to talk about this one, gents. We've got the Oregon Ducks traveling to play against the Wisconsin Badgers. Another Big Ten matchup, a legendary Big Ten matchup for the first time this year. Oregon walks in as a 13.5-point favorites. And, man, I got to say, Dan Lanning has done some magical stuff over there. They are sound on all 3 phases on both sides of the ball. It's just consistency over and over. Dylan Gabriel thrown for 2,800 yards. James is rushed for 946 yards, right? They're consistent up and down. And it's just, it's amazing to see a team be able to play at that functionality, at that high all season long. A lot of games they've played up. They've had some close games. They've had some blowouts. They've given us the whole spectrum of football. Wisconsin is a up-and-comer. We don't know what they are yet. They play decently, and this is a game that they need in order to get bowl eligible. I don't think it's against Oregon, though. Give me the Ducks. I think the Ducks go in there. I think they just handle this team like they've been doing everybody else, dude. It's just been ridiculous. It's been beautiful to watch. It's poetry in motion. The undefeated Oregon Ducks continue that run to play against Indiana in the conference championship. Give me Oregon. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, give me Oregon here as well. I don't like distractions like what has happened at Wisconsin this week with the Jack Del Rio situation, getting blitzed and hammered behind the wheel. And that, I don't know how that impacts the team per se, but yeah, I mean, doing a little too much. Remember, folks, don't drink and drive. Oregon, though, their secondary has been one of the best in the country. And defensively, Dan Lanning, let people forget Dan Lanning is a defensive mind. And he's put his stamp on this defense to the point where they're one of the best in the country now. And I couldn't say that at the beginning of the season. The journey that they've made, I know they've had a lot of guys from the transfer portal as well, top-tier guys, but guys had to gel. Same thing with the offense. This team is gelling. They deserve to be the number one team in the country, without a doubt. I think Oregon continues to roll. I think Dylan Gabriel is going to continue to show you why he's going to end up in New York.
Ooh, Nino.
Ty.
I'm sorry, Ty. Ty's up. My bad.
What?
I didn't want to skip was done. Thought he was going to say, well, what Steven said, I echo. Go to Nino. My bad. Ty, you're up.
Jeez.
You know what? Just for
Shots
that, give
fired.
me Wisconsin. No, I'm just kidding. Give me Oregon. Oregon's going to win this game. Listen, Wisconsin's a good team. They've been inconsistent. That's my only thing with Wisconsin is I have seen Wisconsin play some really solid football, and then I've seen them play some not so solid football. Whenever you're playing a team like Oregon, who has just built on what they've done all season, Oregon has been at least consistent. Like at the beginning of the season, they were consistently trying to find their footing, but showing we have the capability. As the season has gone on, they've consistently been building. You got to be consistent. And that's why I just don't know if Wisconsin is going to be able to pull this off. Like what they're doing there, like the future, Ricardo Hallman is a bad man, but Oregon gets this dub.
Nino, what you got?
Hey, man. Clean sweep. Y'all know what it is. Come fade us. We need T-shirts made with that on, man. Because, like our pictures are so in tune right now. Hey, man, look, this is it's like Oregon gets better every week. Like each week they get a little bit better. Just small increments. Better this week. Next week, a little bit better. I don't even think they've peaked yet, which is kind of scary. They're going to be a very scary team going into the playoffs. So give me Oregon, man. Man, I like DG a lot. Those guys up north, those Sooners, they probably wish that they still had DG on the team. They wouldn't be 5-7 this year, but I won't take any more shots at them boys from Oklahoma. But anyway, man, give me Oregon to win this game, man. They're going to win this game pretty easily, man.
Rivalries never die. It's okay.
Sorry, Jay.
I'm just going to write that down. It's okay. Don't apologize. You ain't sorry. You enjoy this. Just enjoy it. Inject it in your veins.
Well, two things. He's not sorry, and that's not going to be the last one.
Exactly. Him and Steven. Next game.
Erroneous.
On all accounts.
Just dastardly. Kansas travels to play against BYU. This game was a struggle for me. BYU is a 2.5-point favorite against a 3-6 Kansas at home at 9-0. Basically neutral field. There's a chance that Kansas is considered the favorite by 0.5 point or just a dog by 0.5 point. Oh my goodness. I almost picked this one for my mortal lock. I don't know why Kansas is this close in the spread, but I have one idea. They've been playing better football over the last couple of weeks than they played all season. The turnovers have gone down on Jalen Daniels, which was the biggest issue throughout most of the year. He's slowed down. He's calmed down. Then they went out there and punched Iowa State in the mouth, knocked them down. I'm still surprised by it, but at the same time, I'm not. BYU needed a quote-unquote controversial holding call to help them survive Utah, who was on their fourth quarterback at this point. They got 3 quarterbacks down now. Rowe's leg is broken, and he's out having surgery, and the list is just long. I think BYU wins this game, though. I think they keep it really close. I think their defense is too disciplined to lose, and I think that they make things really hard for Jalen Daniels, and they possibly force him to turn the ball over. They're one of the top teams in turnover margin in college football, especially in the Big 12. That's what their specialty is taking the ball away. Give me BYU to force enough turnovers to make Jalen Daniels ineffective. Steven, who you got?
I'm going to build on something you said about Kansas playing better over the course of the season. Kansas, you look at the record, okay, they're 3-6. They've had a 2-point loss, 4-point loss, 3-point loss, 6-point loss almost except for TCU, every game has been a one-score game that they lost. They lost to Illinois. Their first loss to Illinois was by 6. So early on, yes, those turnovers that they had with Jalen Daniels were a problem. I think they did miss AK going to Penn State as well. But something happened on October 5th. Jalen Daniels, since October 5th, has 12 touchdowns passing and rushing to only 1 interception in those games. That is very good quarterback play. This is the same Jalen Daniels that was supposed to be first team all Big 12 last season when Texas and OU were still there. That's over guys like Quinn Ewers and Dylan Gabriel. So Jalen Daniels has shown us he can play at a very high level. This BYU team, I picked against them last week in that Utah game. I'll let the Utah AD speak for himself on that. I've picked against BYU against UCF. I've picked against BYU multiple times. At this point, I'm going to pick against them again. Give me Kansas. Vegas is telling you that they're the better team because when it's 2, and I go by the 3-point rule. And the 3-point rule says if they were at a neutral site, they'd be favored by. So with the 3 points that they're getting at home, Vegas is telling you that Kansas is a better team. Now, here's the thing. BYU, to me, I know they've been the luckiest team I've seen play football in the country. And I give credit to Coach Sataki. He deserves to be up for Coach of the Year. He's done a remarkable job. But if you watch this BYU team play football, there are fraudulent vibes all over the place. I think Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels are going to run the ball down their throats.
That, I can see the running portion of it. Ty, who you got?
You know, a lot of great points being made, but there's a flip side to the equation. For Stephen, he points out that Kansas has learned how to lose close games, and now they're pulling it out. BYU has had those same lessons with wins. So there's one team that showed me they know how to get in a firefight and win, and another team that has 0 road wins this year. I repeat that. Kansas has not won on the road this year. They're downright awful on the road, and now they're playing in elevation. So the running game is going to be big for the early portion of this game. They don't play in elevation. Now they are playing at BYU's turf in elevation with the thin oxygen, and they've been downright terrible on the road. Give me BYU, mainly because BYU has propelled me to victory in the more mortal lock for this, so I got to just ride with them. But Steven's right. Steven is absolutely right that Kansas has been playing better. I just value the flip side of that one team has been in close games and has figured out a way to win as opposed to lose.
No,
and I think somebody's due.
Games matter.
I think somebody's
you're 100% right.
Eventually that luck runs out.
Nino, who you got? There's no clean sweep, so we're safe on
this. It's not a clean sweep on this one, dude. But look, I had to struggle with this one. I sent the pick in last night for BYU. Then I sent the pick in this morning and said, please change it. Give me Kansas, man. And I'm saying this because, look, man, BYU, the same thing that I said about Oregon, how Oregon is getting better week in and week out. I think BYU is getting worse week in and week out. It's just that they haven't been able to lose games because the other team isn't playing their best players, right? They are getting worse, but looking better due to the circumstances. I've picked for BYU all season, and they have been great for me. They have been outstanding for me. But I think Kansas is going to run the ball on them. I think Daniels something's like just switched on him in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he looks like a whole different quarterback. And like Steven said, they got some close losses. I love some Devin Neal as well. I think BYU's luck just goes out of the drain this week. Those calls that they've been used to getting and getting a phantom holding call here or not, I don't think it's going to be there this week, even though I do think there was a holding call. AD needs to sit his butt down and get off the damn podium. That was a defense. Look, it is what it is. But give me Kansas to win this game, man. I think they pull it out, man. I think Kansas pulls it out.
Hey, bro said, y'all jobbed us in the holy war, dog. That's not the work of the Lord. There will be vengeance. Yo, somebody got a freaking
Jesus wept. All right.
In the name of the holy war, baby.
The spreads, guys. Go to the spread. Going to big spreads, big spreads, big spreads. Next game, we've got Ohio State as a massive favorite over Northwestern on the road in Chicago. Or Ohio State is 28.5-point favorites. I'm picking the Buckeyes. They shut me up last week with their last blowout of Purdue at 45-0. I did not think they would have done that, but they did. And I can see them doing the exact same thing to Northwestern, who let Purdue score 20 points on them. Steven?
The key to Ohio State covering these games is their defense. Last week, I felt confident because I knew they weren't going to let Purdue score. So I'm like, their offense can get 5 touchdowns or whatever it needs to cover that. In this case, I feel the same way. Caleb Downs is playing at a crazy high level. The defensive front at Ohio State, JT Tuamalo, Sawyer, all those boys, that's a nasty group. And they're balling. They're balling. Give me Ohio State to cover.
Ty.
Give me Ohio State to cover. I was wrong last week on Ohio State, and I thought they would win by a lot. Wasn't it like a 38.5-point spread last week?
It was 38.5-point spread.
It's 38.
Yeah, I thought they'd win by 35 or something, and they did it. And credit to Steven, he has been automatic in sniffing out these spreads, and so I do feel better this Friday morning that we have the same pick. I feel good right now.
Nino.
Clean sweep, man. Give me Ohio State, man. They've been good to me all season, too. I've been going with Ohio State, like for the spread all year. They've been good to me. Continue to be good to me, Ohio State. Please do. I need these points. I'm not in last place anymore. That dude from Oklahoma named Jay is. Keep him there in the bottom and keep me up. Thank you. Thank you, Ohio State. Thank you.
I just disrespectful. All right, next game.
Nino been shooting at Jay all show.
I told you.
All show.
Non-stop, bro. The love is definitely there. Next game, we've got Penn State with a massive spread on the road at Purdue out in West Lafayette, Indiana. This spread is a pretty big one. 28.5 once again. And yep, I'm taking Penn State. Why not? Ohio State held them to no points. I think Penn State can do the exact same thing while also dropping 45. Steven, what you got?
Yeah, it's FU James Franklin vibes, but no worries here. Purdue stinks. They stink. Give me Penn State to cover.
Yeah, somebody getting fired this year. Ty.
I gotta mute these two guys right here because I'm never gonna be able to not just be like teary-eyed doing this, saying it's a vibe right before I go. You know what you're doing. Give me Penn State to cover. I got nothing for you. Give me Penn State.
Nino, clean sweep. Should fade us.
It's a clean sweep, man. Give me Penn State. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying over here.
Y'all are some fools, man.
So much fun. Penn State's gonna cover, man. And if anybody didn't get that, Steven said he had Florida State covering last week because it was a vibe. So that's why I had to sing every time something is a vibe, I just say it's a vibe just for Steven, man. That's my dude.
I swear that's the dumbest shit I've ever said on this show. By far.
It was so good. It was so pure. That's what
I'm
made it
embarrassed
so good.
by that. I gotta own that. Thank you for holding me accountable, Nino.
Oh man, last game.
Like these guys said in the chat, what an idiot. That guy's a moron. He picked Florida State. What a moron. They're over here firing the whole coaching staff. Somehow Florida State caught a stray in between Penn State and Purdue. Gotta love college football.
Gotta love college football. Last game, we're going right over to the ACC at that. We've got Notre Dame taking on Virginia. The Cavaliers are walking into South Bend as a 23.5-point dogs. Woo-wee! That seems pretty high. I'm going with Virginia, man. They find a way to keep a lot of their games close enough to not get shellacked. Now, Notre Dame has been rolling. They've been rolling over everybody. And unfortunately for them, the games that they've been winning, these teams have been they've been ruining their strength of schedule because they've been boo-boo. But I'm going to go with Virginia. I think Virginia covers this spread, but I think Notre Dame wins this game with ease. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, I think Virginia is going to cover as well. at some point I got to verify how my Notre Dame picks are looking, because I don't think I'm doing too well picking against Notre Dame in the spread. But Virginia can run the ball a little bit, and they've just been solid all year, even the losses, not getting blown out by anybody. They've been a good competitive ACC football team. I think they have a good enough first half to stay in there and probably only lose by 17, 21 points.
Well, I mean, they did get blown out by North Carolina 41-14, but I digress.
That game was redacted.
Why you say that?
Why are you saying like that, though?
Because Caitlin, first of all, Caitlin had the juju on them that week, and they had that interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah, Caitlin did do that.
That game was not like the others, so it's redacted.
Yeah,
that's my analysis.
All right, Ty, who you got?
First off, a pox on all of you. I had a nice cup of coffee this morning, and I've been laughing so hard. I don't feel so hot right now. So, a pox on all of you. But, Stephen, you said something. I haven't been doing well picking against Notre Dame covering the spread. For that reason, give me Notre Dame in this game. I like Notre Dame to cover. That game against North Carolina is not redacted. They got beat down. They got smacked around. And that's disheartening because North Carolina is bad. And so
yeah.
Mac Brown about to retire. Nino.
I got Virginia, man. I'm going to redact that North Carolina game as well. But look.
Erroneous.
I hate y'all so
They're kind of riding high off this last win from Pitt, man. I think they keep the game close as well, even though Notre Dame has been blowing out everybody that they've been playing lately. But their last game was against Florida State, and that was a vibe game, and they got their handed to them. So, look here, man. Give me Virginia to cover, man. I think they keep it within 2 touchdowns. Not 23.5, maybe 3 touchdowns right at 21. And watch Notre Dame go out and beat them by 50.
I said, why are you booing me? I'm right. I love Caitlin even admitted we are bad. All right. Mortal locks of the week. This I'm not going to lie. This week had more opportunities for a mortal lock than any of them I think I've seen this season. There's about 4 games. I had tabs open and I just kept going back and forth. I almost changed my pick this morning, but I decided to stick to it because I'm pissed. I'm making this pick because I'm pissed and I'm tired of this mess. I'm riding with Houston +2 against Arizona, man. Look, Noah Fafita and them has been the biggest disappointment of the year to me. They have lost. They've been getting shellacked by every damn body, and I'm tired of it, man. They were my squad. I had faith in them, and they let me down week over week. I swear, if they do me dirty again this week, whoo. Anyway, they lost 56-12 to UCF. West Virginia beat them 31-26. I mean, just going down to Colorado, shellacked them 34-7. But I'm going to give a shout out to Willie Fritz over there in Houston. He is turning that program around. We can't deny that. They beat K-State 24-19. They knocked them off, and they've been playing solid ball. They've been growing as the season's gone on. Besides that loss to Kansas, which was gross, give me Houston to cover that one. Steven, who you got?
Jay, that was hilarious. Jay said, "I'm mad. That was like the most random degenerate pick. I could picture you with a glass of JMO and a cigarette and just spreadsheets last night all over the place, just trying to find this spreadsheet. And he landed on Houston +2. I love it, Jay. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Kansas money line. It's time for BYU to go down. Okay, I'm doubling on the juju. I haven't done this I don't think I've done this all year where I've doubled.
No,
on
I don't think so.
Pick and a lock, but I'm doing it now. All of the holy war powers from my lips to God's ears. These boys need to go down and be humble. Give me Kansas money line.
Sit down,
Ty. Wow.
Why y'all put me after him, man? I gotta always compose myself after. I love the pick. I hope you're wrong, but I love the pick. I'm doing something I never thought I would do on this distinguished of Fridays. I'm making a pick that, oh hell, I don't even know if I believe in it, but I'm trying to will it to happen. I'm taking North Texas to cover the plus 1.5 or the 1.5 spread against UTSA. UNT is 5-4. They have been having a good season except for the last 3-game stretch where they've dropped 3 games, and all of those games have been close. UNT needs this win for bowl eligibility. I like the Mean Green to cover. They're my alumni, and they will not be getting my alumni funds if they do not cover this game. So lots on the line.
I never thought I'd see Ty pick his school. Wow. Impressive.
I'm impressive. I am very much impressed. He picked the school that he finished
Call.
at. Nino, who's your mortal lie?
I think Jay was reading my notes because I picked Houston too to outright win against Arizona, man. Look, I got Houston winning this game. They've been looking good the last 3 weeks, man. Arizona looks like dog crap. But look, man.
Get me out of here, man.
You're not wrong.
I mean, you're not.
I like Houston, man. They got a freshman running back over there who's leading in the rushing right now, Rashawn Sanford from Harker Heights High School, my rival high school when I was in high school. Great players that came out of there. A really good friend of mine, Torrin Washington, a.k.a. T-Baby. He passed away a few years ago, but he went to school there too and had a full ride also as well. Yeah, man, give me Houston. Houston's going to win this game against Arizona because they're peaking and they're doing some great things here, as of late. And Arizona has been doing some things that aren't so great over the entire season. So I'll take Houston to cover the 2.5 points and win this game outright.
All right. Whew, that's our mortal. Oh, man. Can't believe. All right, show all the picks real quick so the people can be as mad as they like to be. Oh, man. Yeah, I think this is actually, Steven, I went and looked. This is the first time that you actually picked a team twice. I'm thoroughly impressed that you actually made that jump. And yeah,
good pick.
Good luck
Standing
to
on
all
business, Jay.
I hope you're wrong.
Standing on business.
Standing on
business. I love it. All right. Thank y'all for pulling up to the College Football Prediction Roundtable presented here on the Bleacher Report app. For Steven, Ty, and Nino, I'm Jay. We will see you all next Friday. See you then.
Put that down. You might poke your eye out.
I know, right? Put that thing up
Jay
there.
said, I'm upset.